What'll it be?
I'm awfully glad you asked me that, Lloyd, because I just happen to have 2 20s and 2 10s right here in my wallet. I was afraid they were going to be there till next April. Say, Lloyd, it seems I'm temporarily light. How's my credit in this joint anyway?
Your credit's fine, Mr. Torrance.
That's swell. I like you, Lloyd. I always liked you. You were always the best of them. Best goddamn bartender from Timbuktu to Portland, Maine. Or Portland, Oregon, for that matter.
So the video you just saw, okay, that was a deep fake. Deep fakes are starting to become more and more prevalent throughout society right now, and there's some good, useful things from it, but there's also a lot of dangers. And in this video, I want to talk to you about some of the dangers. So first of all, where did deepfakes come from? Well, the term first came out in 2017. There was a user on the site Reddit by the name of Deepfake, and that person, along with some other people, started swapping faces around and doing that with videos. Now, prior to that, we'd already seen this in photos, and you probably have seen this many times. It's very easy for someone to Photoshop someone's face onto another person, but it's more recent and it's more new that they've started to be able to do this with videos, and technology has evolved so that they can actually use artificial intelligence and newer programs to swap faces and do it very convincingly. And what's even scarier is that there's now technology where not only can they do that visually, but they can do that with a person's voice. These programs can listen to someone's voice for 5 seconds and then virtually clone it. You know, people are going to have a lot of fun with this, but there's also some really big dangers. And the general public started to become aware of this sometime around 2018. You might have seen the actor Jordan Peele, the director of the movie Get Out. Great movie, and he's also from Key and Peele as well. But Jordan Peele, he teamed up with, I think it was BuzzFeed, and he made this video where they were using a deep fake of Barack Obama. Have a look.
Our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time. You see, I would never say these things, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. But how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia.
Now, besides the voice, you'll have to agree that was fairly convincing. That was 2018. Every year that passes, these are getting more and more convincing. More recently, they did another one of Nancy Pelosi drunk, and have a look at this one.
We want to give this president the opportunity to do something historic for our country.
Took no longer on the floor, custody of the border. Everyone, he started sending signals.
Okay, so that wasn't exactly swapping faces, but if you hadn't seen that side by side with the real footage, it's kind of hard to tell. And there's a lot of YouTube channels coming out now with people who are really skilled at this. One of them is Control Shift Face, I think it is. And this person is able to swap faces in famous Hollywood scenes. For example, Terminator 2. There's this scene where there's Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they've swapped his face with Sylvester Stallone. Have a look.
No, it isn't possible.
Can't let you take the man's wheels, son. Now get off before I put you down. That's it, goddammit.
Now, it's all fun and games to put someone's face on a famous actor or actress in a famous Hollywood scene. And, you know, there's a lot of laughs to be had about it, but there's some very real dangers to be had with this technology. And the scary thing is, I'm making this video in 2020. Give it 5 years, and I'm telling you, these deepfakes, they're going to be so convincing, and when they can do the voice as well, that to an ordinary person, if you're just watching it, you're not even going to be able to tell. It's going to get very difficult to tell. Now, it's getting used in some dangerous areas. One of the industries that it's started to be used in is taking famous celebrities and putting them on actors or actresses in pornography. Now, you know, that might be funny a little bit when you think about it, but it's actually quite scary that they can take someone's face and put them in this very kind of compromising scene and completely destroy their reputation, or they could do it to an ordinary person as well. But not just that, this can be used for fraud. I had someone register an email address, the exact same as my Gmail email address. And I had a very long Gmail address, and all they did is they changed one character. The spelling of one word was double L, and they took out one of the L's. And what they did is they contacted my assistant, my personal assistant, who had access to various bank accounts and would pay expenses on my behalf sometimes. And they pretended to be me. And they emailed my assistant. They said, I need you to send 20 grand right now to this vendor. They're asking for it. They're annoyed. It's late. Please pay it. And she mentioned it to me, and it didn't really connect. She sent me a message about it on Skype, and I thought, what's she talking about? Because there were often expenses that would get paid. So I didn't really acknowledge it. It was either later that day or the very next day, she sent me another message and she said, oh, by the way, I sent that payment. I said, what payment? What payment are you talking about? Because she'd brought it up a couple of times. And she said the $20,000. And as soon as I heard that, I thought, oh shit, like what's going on here? And I quickly contacted her and I said, what are you talking about? What $20,000? She said, you emailed me and you asked me to pay this vendor right away. And I said to her, this is fraud. Something's going on. That wasn't me. Cancel it. Call the bank right now. Now, luckily, we caught it the same day it had been sent. It had just been sent a few hours prior. So the money had left my account. We were able to get it reversed. But this happened several times. That was the only time the money actually left my account, but several attempts happened over the years just like that. Now, this was from someone who knew the inner dynamics of the company. They knew how my assistant would contact me by email and what kind of tone they might use and so on. But here's my point. That was just by mimicking an email address. Can you imagine if someone could get your details and send a video or even just an audio message on WhatsApp or something like that, and if they could copy your voice, can you imagine what kind of damage could be done? So this is what we're facing. We've got elections coming up, or in the USA, you guys have elections coming up later on this year. They will be able to soon make politicians say things or appear to be doing things that they just were not doing. So there is technology that's taking this on to try and combat it and detect it. But I just wanted to share this with you. Be aware of it. It's only going to get more and more dangerous, and we've never really thought about it up until recently. We always knew that people could Photoshop photos and make people appear to be doing things they weren't. But video takes it to a whole new level because most people don't question video so much. So be aware of it. That's about deepfakes, and I'm going to leave you with this deepfake scene. So hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you tomorrow.
This is my wife's father's place originally.
You married into it.
We lived in Temple, Texas for many years. Raised a family there in Temple. We come out here about 4 years ago.
You married into it.
That's the way you want to put it.
I don't have some way to put it. It's the way it is. What's the most you've ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you've ever lost on a coin toss?